Okay, I'm just going to give you a quick tour of some of the mountains in Ireland. Not as impressive as these mountains, unfortunately, but still not bad. It's also just a really beautiful piece of software that we have here. Have I got this right? Hold on. Okay, so where are we going? Fortunately, this is a slightly nausea-inducing way of getting around, but it certainly is the prettiest. So I don't want to be in Macedonia, I want to be in Ireland. And I'll start with the ones closest to me, the Dublin Mountains, where I grew up. And here we go. So this is the M50, the main road around Ireland, around Dublin. And this is where I basically grew up, down here. And we go up to these mountains quite a bit. And you can see the antennas, although not shown in 3D, you can see them there. And they lead into the Wicklow Mountains. So if you go over here, you can see the most famous ones are the Sugarloaf, but actually not really that great for walking up. A bit boring. Where it really gets interesting is when you go back a bit from the Sugarloaf into the Wicklow Mountains proper. You got your Powers Court waterfall. You got a beautiful boardwalk up here that brings you across here, down into the valley, down to Loch Dan. And these are where you get really nice mountains. So one of the most famous ones is, let me just look up here, so you got Groundwood Reservoir. And once you kind of get into this mountain range, it gets quite remote and beautiful. So a famous one here is to kind of walk up Mullaghly Vaughan. You'd walk up this side, and then you go around here to Tunlagee. This is one kind of in the middle. It's a beautiful heart-shaped lake, very romantic. And this brings you over, so the next valley across is the most famous one, Glenda Lock. And while it's definitely pretty, there's also other stuff. Delock Hill there. This is where they pump water up during the day to use it as a giant water battery for periods of high power usage. This is Glenda Lock. So the most famous part of this would be Spink Loop, which is where you walk up over here and then do a real horrendous march to the top of the hill before walking around the lake and then down through the mining village on the far side. The tallest one is actually one valley across where we go to Loch Naquilla, which is there. So most people, when they walk up Lug, they go up this way and then along this flat part there, but that's not the most interesting. The best one, I feel, is this way, where you go straight up here and then you go into the Frocken Valley. It is a big hanging valley, and then you go straight up to the top. You can go around that way if it's a bit boggy, and you get up here, which is really nice. Problem is it's quite dangerous. You have, the top is like golf course flat, and if it gets foggy or there's cloud, you can very, very easily get lost, and there's plenty of cliffs to walk straight over. which is not good. You've also got the army firing range on the other side, just over here, so you don't want to go there. But that's really nice. So what's another one? My personal favorite is actually the Mournes. Oh, hang on. Which are over there. Is that it? Yeah. These are the oldest mountains in Europe, which means they're quite worn down. But you got a nice. They've got 2 reservoirs, and they've got this crazy stone structure. They've built this stone wall the whole way around in order to keep the sheep out of the reservoir. But this is a beautiful walk where you start down a town called Newcastle down here, and you basically walk up this valley here. It's all trees and forests, and then it kind of comes into the clearing as you get higher, so you're walking up from sea level, following the path of a river. And then when you get to here, you go up another hanging valley and pop out between the 2 mountains. I think the tallest is Slieve Donard. It's still not a mountain, but pretty high, 900 something meters from sea level. That's pretty good. And you get a lovely view. Good in the sunrise. If I can grab the sun there. Oh, made it nighttime. No. If you get up early, it's really pretty. So that's that. The most famous mountain in Ireland, which is an interesting one because I don't know why it's famous, it's just miserable, is Croagh Patrick down here. So this is it. It's quite high. It's not a very technical climb, but it's just kind of awful. It's on the west coast, which means that the weather changes so horrendously on it. It's kind of miserable the whole way up. We've started in sun, and within 10 minutes, like in clear blue skies, been hit by hail and misery. And then it gets sunny again, and then it'll be sleeting, like really horrendous weather. And it'll just, you can't see it even, you just see it approaching about 10 minutes before it hits. The whole thing is this weird scree, so your feet are kind of slipping the whole time, and then when you get to this bit here, you're literally on your hands and knees, and every step you take forward, you slide back about half a step. Hence the suffering that everyone loves so much in hiking. When you get to the top, I believe there is a school building. No, it's a church. It's a church, why not? So you can have a mass at the top if you're so inclined. And you get a lovely view out over Clew Bay over there, which is really nice. The final one I'll do is the tallest mountain in Ireland, which is Carrauntoohill, which is, I'm too high up, I need to go further down. Here we go, beside Killarney, yeah. In this mountain range here, this really is a mountain peaking out at over 1,000 meters. You got the national park there, but with this one you generally start down in the gap down low. No, where do you start? You start down here. That's it. So Cronin's Yard, as it is known, is the place where you park up. And here, and then you go for a walk up this. This is quite pleasant. but then it's basically following the course of a river, and some parts of it are pretty bad. At some points you're kind of clambering up waterfalls and all sorts of stuff. It's very impressive with all of the peaks around you. And then you come to these two lakes. There is an account of a US aircraft having crashed in here. And you can see it at certain times of the year. I don't know what it was, a C-47 maybe. They still find bits of wreckage. And then you get to this awful, awful part. This is the quickest way, but the least pleasant way as well, called the Devil's Ladder. And this is all horrible scree. So you have to go up this, and you literally, if you're walking with someone, you have to space yourselves out so that you don't get hit by the stones. If there's a lot of people, it gets very, very sketchy. Oh, I've just fallen into the mountain. Where am I again? There we go. Oh, I've completely lost the mountain. Where do we go? How did I teleport? Where did I teleport to? Ah, there we go. So there's the Devil's Ladder. Oh, can we see the picture? Anyway, once you get there, up the top of the Devil's Ladder, it's a fairly nice walk up to the top. Not too bad, except that there are cliffs on three sides. So there's a million warning signs saying whatever you do not go this way. And I strongly recommend that you come down by the way you came up, so as to prevent death. These are beautiful range of mountains. We also do this one over here, the Big Gun, as they call it, where you go up and walk on a very narrow cliff along here, which is just cool. Oh, we've got a street view. Let's try it out. Ah, yeah, just beautiful. So yeah, that's where you can go. There's Carrauntoohill off in the distance, and if I remember rightly, there is a statue of Mary in here. That's it, that's the Big Gun. If you walk across that bit, it is a squeaky bum time, but is amazing to see. Anyway, that's it. Google Earth VR, slightly nausea inducing, but absolutely amazing. Make it nighttime. I'd strongly recommend you check it out. Okay,